All right, so it's basically a site dedicated to Almighty Nature and the Noon Project, liberation, teachings, promoting knowledge, wisdom, mental liberation for all people of African origins everywhere. Right, last updated on March 5th, 2007. Right, so this site dedicated to serving the Nubian Afro community as an exchange of ideas, products, and services. We offer you as a child of our original melanin, foreparents, and historical education and creative outlet for our efforts at self-improvement, be it spiritual or material. We seek to unite our minds to better life for ourselves and future generations to come. On this site, you will find answers to your many questions as to who we are and exactly what your purpose is in this creation. Whether you're a writer, artist, musician, promoter, or business person, you may become a part of Nubian Pride Creation. We will publish your ideas and products on our site. All right, so when you get down here, the first thing you see is who and what is the Noon, N-U-N, Noon Project. So that right there is a red flag, right? Let's look into this. Now, look, N-U-N / N-O-O-N-E, right? So the first thing you notice is the N-U-N project, right? So when you look into these books, right? Look at this, what it say? This is Anova stuff, the Nun Project. All right, so now we find out that Anova is also involved with Anunnaki. Very interesting, right? It should be, because I've been going in on this foolishness that he wrote in 2011 and 12 and all those documents and getting himself evicted and all this crap. But now look at this. Now look at this. The Noon Project is a what, not a who. Number one, that's a lie, because I was a part of that group on the WhatsApp, and it was people. All right, it was who's. Right. The explanation of what the Nun Project is about is best seen by defining what it isn't. First and foremost, the Nun Project is not a new set of what? The Wabians. So once again, not only now we find out that Anova is involved in this, it's the first topic when you get down here into the list of topics. It's not Nupu and who is Afro Unu, all that. The first thing they pops up here is what is the Nun Project. Then it has Nuwaubians. So once again, Charles, when you hear this, I want to see if you're going to make 50 videos about other people who was mixing and matching. This is exactly what I was talking about, is why this stuff is coming out, because it's starting to expose all who was around. Now watch this. We are Nuwaubu Purist. Once again, this is not in Noon. All right, this is clear corruption. And the Nun Project is really based upon what York put in the black book, talking about the Nun Project, where they talking about experiments, and that the Anunnaki aliens brought genes in a dolphin from Maldek, the so-called planet Vulcan, that Spock from Star Trek was from. That they transported the genes of Atum Ray from Maldek to the planet Earth, but Atum Ray is actually the name of the birth of the sun. Atum. Like, how can the sun come from a planet when the sun predates the planet? And how does a sun have genes like human beings? And how did the sun was able to fit in some dolphins and be dropped off on the planet Earth when the sun is first? It makes no sense. When the sun is the source of life, that wouldn't make no sense. Alright, the NUN Project is not an organization like the Black Panthers or the NAACP or anything in between. The NUN Project is not any one individual or group of individuals. This is a lie. Once again, you got the book called The NUN Project. It didn't write itself. Come on. It is a group of individuals. Stop lying. The NUN Project does not have a leader. That's a lie. Anova was the leader. Chief or head lies. Besides sound right reason. See how these dirty spirits make y'all lie on sound right reason? This is all spiritual foolishness. The reason and duly appointed by Almighty Nature, the sacred master, Amanubi Rakapata, known by many names. Once again, these writings, this is what Nova says. This is stuff that Nova says. See? In the NUN Project, the sacred master will be welcome home per se when he sees we are not out for negative self-motivated power. So now, we see that Anova goes all the way back, and Anova is also involved with Anunnata and didn't say nothing. And now we didn't know that Poseidon knew about Anunnata, and he's seen us trying to get to the bottom of this stuff for years and never said a damn thing. This is what we're saying. Same thing with Nusa, excuse me, who was telling Kepra about some underhanded business that Sinai and Anunnata, rest of power, was doing. Sat on it, didn't say nothing. Watched us do all this fighting with these cult members and followers of York. And now we see that Anova is involved, and none of these people said nothing. So now we have to expose y'all because you hiding secrets and information. All right? So now we got Anova in the mix. Once again, the NUN Project does not hold allegiance to any government, nation, or corporate entity. See, this is Anova. When I was reading, Anova tried to extort, use the memorandum to extort the U.S. government. This is the stuff he was talking about. Corporate, all this stuff, corporate entity, government, nation, all this is in those documents that Anova did. Excuse me. So, anybody who's been keeping up with that should understand that this is not in my mind. This is not my imagination. Right? It is not under their authority or what? Jurisdiction. All this is in the documents. The NUN Project is not wrong, racist, haters, or gender favoritism, male or female. The NUN Project is not a secret order or fraternity like Freemasons, or religious degree of spookism, or pantheists, clandestine, negative nature worshipers. We're not positive nature worshipers either. The NUN Project does not hold weekly meetings or seminars to attract new followers. We do not follow, but we definitely did have a lot of conversation on the WhatsApp. So I'm pretty sure y'all was having meetings on the phone and emails. The NUN Project is not your psychiatrist or personal therapist, so please direct your questions somewhere else. Thank you. Makes no sense, because y'all had this website set up and you know people's going to ask questions. Alright? The NUN Project is not specifically your mother or father. We are your unspecified family members of all types. We are your self and kind. The NUN Project is not out to get your money, a corporate illusion. we're concerned for and dedicated to Ethiopian liberation mentally first, then every other type afterwards. The Nuwaubu Project is non-mind collective that adheres to certain knowledge, nature knowledge, the laws of nature, and sound right reasoning, specifically the set of guidelines found in the Nuwaubu and liberation information specifically designed for Ethiopian mental liberation first, which we will presuppose physical liberation in the present and future. We accept that the positive forces of nature, non-ether, will protect those who acknowledge that absolute nature is the one supreme being, thus just supreme, and all who acknowledge the appointed by nature ruler of this present revolutionary cycle in space, matter, and time. We exist like living sons, male and females, or as members and parts of absolute nature. If you agree with the above statements, you are also one in mind and nine with the Nuwaubu Project in time we will overstand. Once again, they thought that Afro Uno and Dr. York was the same. So again, let's see if Charles make 50 videos on this information, because he ain't got no content. He waiting for me to put out stuff, but I put out so much stuff and he can't find no lies and holes in it, so he gonna distort it and get high and ask another dumb question or assumption, like he said he thought Anunatar was Nubi Ripu, which is really Afro Uno, just a drug addict. Now look at the number 2 posters from Third Eye Images. Now on here, it was no images showed up, but look, available at A2 format, laminated at €9 each. For further information, email what? iMoon999@aim.com. Once again, this is Side 9. I told y'all that. This is how they were selling the books. They were selling the nature books illegally, immorally, for 5 years, from 2005 to 2010. To the point the A&B bookstore cut them off. Cut Reason them off from getting the books too. Because all y'all is guilty. Because the information that I'm finding and found in this website, because Poseidon sent it, it only implicates him more and more with what was going on. Because when you read the information, you start to see this. When I got this, I immediately started looking at the whole website. So, looking at all of this, if Poseidon went back into the website, he would have seen, based off all of the information we have been dropping since we started in 2014 to whenever he got wind of us and went back into this stuff, he would have seen exactly that all of this had all of the information in it. Just watch. 3, online Nubian bookstore. Right? It's not showing, but it got all these other different books. When ordering, please quote ISBN number next to price. Wholesale price is available, 25% reduction. The picture's not showing. But again, for ordering and shipping info, email iMoon999@aim.com. Click here to access next selection of books. So we know they was already selling the nature books illegally. They had no permission to was getting them from A&B bookstore till they got cut off, found another way to reprint them and start selling them. So this is 2007. So this 2 years they've been doing this deception and selling other information as well. So this is now we're starting to add up. This is what they was doing with Afro Uno information. Hijacking it. This is hijacking the books. They was doing that. And y'all see why I have a problem with spirit beings and black people. And I forgot to do this in the beginning, so I'm gonna do it now. Because y'all read, but y'all don't study nothing. And this is why you gotta go back to the old stuff. Bible Interpretation Explanation Booklet 1. There's a spell upon the Ethiopian. The willy-haired people's what? the world over. That's the whole planet. And it is a spell of what? Spiritual ignorance. That means ignorance of spirits. Because I know when y'all hear this, the spirit gonna make you think that I'm disrespecting the flesh you. No. I'm exposing the spiritual you. And for those of you who have the nature books, go read the transcript when it talks about the three parts of a person. The mental you and the spiritual or the psyche. The psyche is who I'm referencing. Because y'all have filthy spirits in such a way they so subtle and deceptive they was using all of y'all to do Alpha Uno hella dirty and giving York the credit. Let's keep going. And racial indifference cast upon the Ethiopian by Leviathan from the Caucasian in his Bible, and this is why no one has been able to really unite the Ethiopian in any considerable numbers, and also why the people of African descent have not been able to make real progress toward freedom and equality. With the help of the Caucasian Leviathan, the god of the Caucasian hypnotized the Ethiopian with his magic powers and sealed the hypnosis with spiritual ignorance and racial indifference. Right now, we can't come together. And even what you're seeing right now amongst us men and some females within Noon and followers of York, the racial indifference is hard, it's heavy, because y'all spirits got y'all doing Alpha Uno dirty to the point we done showed y'all by way of sound of reason what York had did with the books, remixing them. Then they robbed the man for years, built organization off of Alpha Uno's work of distortion, then put that man picture in they nasty pedophile bookstore in Bushwick, Brooklyn, and still got the nerve to act like what we did to expose all of that was incorrect. That was all spiritual beings. And the only way that the spell can be broken and Ethiopia be free again and what? And free indeed is that the spiritual ignorance be destroyed. So the fact that all y'all over here still hiding and sliding, all of y'all still got y'all dirty spirits on you. Anunatar had one, rest in power. Sinai had one. Nusa, Kepra, Charles, Ethereum. Most of the Nuwaubians we've been fighting from the beginning to now. Larry. Just think about it. Poseidon. Because now it's showing that y'all been playing against Alpha Uno. Some of y'all ain't been seeing yourselves. It's other names, but I'm gonna go down the line as we get where we going. So right now, by spiritual knowledge and understanding, the racial indifference be destroyed by racial knowledge and understanding. So y'all is in a bad place right now. And all this information coming out, and it's going to show that what Poseidon gave us the link to this website, it only exposes his part in this. And also it exposed that Anova was behind a lot of this foolishness as far back as 2007. Alright, let's go to the next one. History and Egyptology. Hold on, we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, got that down. Alright, let's go to History and Egyptology. Because a lot of this stuff is nothing in here, but I just want to go through it. Right? Same thing. These is books. So that means, because none of y'all was no book writers like that, so these had to be other people's books. When ordering, please quote ISBN number next to price. So these must be the ISBN numbers right here. Let's see. 18845641178. This came on Amazon.com, Healing the Criminal Heart. Look at that. Introduction to the ancient Egyptian mind, philosophy, yoga, and spiritual redemption through virtue and mystic religion. By by Dr. Nuwaubu Ashby. Now I wonder, does this person, if they still alive, know that Side9 was selling these people books? Because I just did a search on the ISBN number and this is what came up. It's a book on yoga. Can y'all say thief? Let's look at the next one. This is very interesting. I just decided to do this in the moment. Let's look at some of these books that y'all was selling. Okay, this one came up. This is the same. It can't be the same one. It's probably similar though. Look at this. Egyptian yoga. Who wrote this one? Oh, it's the same guy. The same person. Dr. Nuwaubu Ashby. Once again, interesting. I'm just going through to see what's going on. Egyptian religion ideas. Let's see. All this on Amazon. Oh, okay, so we know this dude is dead. E.A. Wallace Budge. That was an Egyptologist. So how y'all selling these books? This is very interesting. Look at this. Now these are the missing books. Now I'm taking the ISBN numbers and I'm doing random searches on these. All these Egyptian books. Y'all want to author these books. These books is going right to Amazon. So how y'all is selling these books? That means y'all had to be not only printing the nature books and selling them without permission, y'all was taking these books and reprinting them and selling without permission. Thieves. This is interesting. Let me go on to the next one. No results for that one. Alright, that one is showing something in Chinese or Korean. Let's see if it shows anything Egyptian related. No, it's not showing none for that. I don't know what that was. Let me go down here. Do a few more. Because this is very interesting. GetTextbooks.com. Advice to households, unabridged edition. Log in to see store details. A Books Marketplace. A Books UK. Okay, by Swami Nande. Another book that y'all was selling. Interesting. This is what we talking about. Now look how the facts is exposing y'all. Y'all selling these books. Somebody gonna have to come out now. Y'all gonna have to talk about this. Now you got to come clear your name. If y'all wasn't selling books with people's permission, now you got to prove that. Dictionary of Symbolism. This is coming up from y'all because ISBN numbers don't disappear. Boy, y'all in trouble now. Y'all in trouble now. For ordering and shipping info, email at almoon999@aim.com. All prices are exclusive of shipping costs. Boy. There's some filthiness going on with y'all. This is real filthy. Alright, African Studies. Let's see what's going on over here. Again, more ISBN numbers. this? Hyundai. I don't know what's going on with that. But we can just keep going. Again, it goes down to that same email, Amun999. It should be 666. But y'all got the right name, Amun meaning hidden, because y'all definitely was doing some underhanded crap. Alright, C for religion. All these other books. So y'all selling all types of stuff. Not following what the BIAE says. The BIAE, right? What did it say? What did the BIE say? Right? It said there is, with the help of the Caucasian Leviathan, I go back up and there's a spell upon the Ethiopian, the willow-haired people the world over, and it is a spell of spiritual ignorance and racial indifference cast upon the Ethiopian by Leviathan from the Caucasian in his Bible. And this is why no one has been able to really unite the Ethiopian in any considerable number. So, again, y'all got a section on religion, and selling books on religion is also help casting the spell. Just like York, y'all still was following the same spiritual playbook. Rastafari books, why? If y'all supposed to be following Noon doesn't tell you to involve yourselves in religion. It doesn't tell you that. This is all foolishness and niggatry. I'm just gonna run through this real quick because y'all is sick. What I'm saying is sickening. All right, you got melanin excerpts in here, and it was something in here that I seen that I wanted to make a quick point. All right, talks about melanin and all these other little properties and things like that. Once again, the nature books talks about things that are strong and important is 1, 9 mind, and our kinky hair. Alright? All this other stuff is going into other things. The Afroons didn't talk about melanin. I don't think the word melanin is even mentioned in the books. But that's not the part that got my attention. Let me see if I can find it. Let's go to the color black. Let me see. Look, is God black? The original man was black. Made in the image of God, his parent, according to the sacred books. Once again, Noon does not speak this way. And it tells you that the original black man was the Phoenician. We were not called man. We became associated with man through evolution as they broke us down. But we was called Tar. This is foolishness. This is what we trying to tell you, that all this extra stuff y'all mixing in is not dealing with Noon science in this entirety. The same thing here, all this melanin, the same way Garu keep bringing up this word uromelanin. Why nobody don't want to talk about uromelanin or neuromelanin or eumelanin? I think it's eumelanin. But the point is, all of y'all spirits got y'all creating all this extra foolishness that is diverting people because of the Leviathan and the with the help of the Bible. Now look at this right here. Melanin can become toxic to the black human because it combines with harmful drugs such as cocaine, amphetamine, psychotic hallucinogen. Marijuana, the molecule of these drugs resemble the melanin molecule. The body is food and its balance is thrown off as it relies on its drug-wrecked melanin in order to function, even legal drugs. So you got all this stuff. See, this stuff here, what we tried to tell dumb Charles, even in the 9 balls say don't use it, but this here even tell you that that marijuana and melanin don't mix. But he'll realize that once he get that fatal news from the hospital about how he been killing himself in his brains. All right, but that's not the part I'm looking for. I'm looking for something else, something that shows you this is not Noon. As far as that. Again, this is also Dr. York stuff. Black is the meaning of Cam or Chem, the name which the ancient Egyptians called themselves. Again, chemistry. This is York. York was saying all this stuff. Once again, lying on misappropriate melanin. Melanin gives black people superior physical, mental, or spiritual ability. No. Samurai reason gives black people, Ethiopian people, Kikid people, mental and spiritual ability when the spirits are influenced by nine mind to help the African race. That's incorrect too. Once again, all this stuff about the pineal gland, all this stuff is nothing to do with what Afro Unu taught. The Nine Ball and the BIE don't talk about none of this mess. Alright? This is the stuff we're seeing. The melanin molecule, it was in here. I'm trying to find it. Where is that up? Where is it? Where is it? If I can't find it, then I'll just move on. But it was talking about, it was a section in here about the dinosaurs. But I think I may have passed it. I may have passed it. But it was talking about how the dinosaurs or melanists go back to some about the dinosaurs, some went back to the DNA or something. Dinosaurs went back 150 million years. That's against Noon. Noon states that the dinosaurs existed for 6,000 years, starting from 6 West, 18 million years ago. But anyway, this is not our stuff. Alright, so now look at this. Frame African artwork. Alright. So I don't know who was drawing this, but definitely ain't none of this got nothing to do with Noon. So they accept the PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, Discovery. I don't know what this card is. But once again, you can see that they were selling all types of stuff. This is why we say we don't trust nothing y'all say. And the fact that all this had to come up and we got to take time out of our lives to do a service for the Ethiopian race and those who are trying to find the truth. Y'all ain't the ones. All y'all are guilty by association. Alright, got some more Islam, but didn't show up. Masonry, all this stuff is anti-Noon. Lessons and articles. Look at this right here. Now this was interesting as well. Now they got excerpts from the Nine Ball Liberation Material Part 1. Right? And they give you 27 verses out of the Nine Ball, right? And this is why we saying that this crap that Poseidon talking about makes no sense. Nobody is accepting these half-ass answers that y'all giving now, because now it's not lining up with the evidence. We did all this work and y'all just watched from the shadows and didn't say anything. Only when we get into it with these people and certain information is brought to our attention, now everybody wants to trinkle a little information out. Look at this, lesson 15, January 2007. Rahu Bat, readings in the name of El Kaluna All. Once again, look who it said. These lessons are taken from various sources as told by our teacher and guide, Dr. Malachi Z. York. Once again, aside in saying that he never thought they was the same, makes no sense. Because if you involved with the person that's running the website and you're reading and studying, me looking at the topics in here should have made you understand that. But again, that's not true, because the BIE says there's a spell upon the Ethiopian the world over, and it's a spell of spiritual ignorance. All of y'all are under the spell of the spirit beings. This is why y'all have been so smooth and calmly floating all these years, not seeing the wrongness that y'all was leaving as a trail behind. Alright, look at this. Alright, so we was in lessons and articles. The same thing when you go into it. You got lessons archives. Round back, greetings in the name of El Colon to all. Nowhere in there is Afro. That's not his stuff. Because when you read the books, it says what? Listen to reason. Okay? These lessons take from various sources taught by our teacher and guide, Dr. Malachi Z. York. This is why nobody believes what Osiris is saying. The Holy Tabernacle Ministries Family Guide. This is York wrote this stuff. I are you who hear words and doesn't investigate meaning for yourself? Interesting. We saying the same thing. Osiris, you sent us the link to these websites. You think we not gonna follow sound reason and see where it goes? This makes no sense. But this is all the stuff. You telling me you had this link all these years and didn't go back and look at this stuff? This is what we mean. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. All this is York. Look at this. Greetings in the name of the Most High. Who talks like that? Nuwaubu don't talk like that. Netashir Netiru. This is York stuff. Also known as Ra or Anu. This is York stuff. Our Grand Master, Dr. Malachi Z. York, teaches us to elevate ourselves through the acquisition of right knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. With this knowledge, you can raise ourselves by degrees to a state of godhood. That's not true. The only way you become a god, and if anything, is not a god, because only the pygmy gods and goddesses were gods, because they were the personification of Nuwaubu in physical form, 9 ether. We are descendants of them. So only close thing we can get to is being a demigod or demigoddess, and that requires a spirit being of high rank to incarnate into the Ethiopian race. You can become a demigod. That's it. The holographic mind, all this stuff right here, this is York stuff. This is all York stuff. All of this stuff plagiarized from other different sources. So once again, Osiris, what are you talking about? And I don't see you as a Nuwaubu. You a pantheist. With all that African stuff that you got on your YouTube, that's pure pantheism. Talking about the atom is God, that's a lie. That's not known. Mixing what the ancients were teaching when it was fragmented in the nature books explains that. You're not a Nuwaubu, you're a pantheist. I wouldn't disrespect you and call you a follower of York now, but you are a pantheist, and this is facts. Again, we went to that. So who was Afro? Let's look into this. We're gonna have to read a little bit. Let's look at this. Now you saying who was Afro? Again, once again, you saying you didn't believe that Dr. York and Afro was the same, but here you are introducing a website to me and Kweepu and not going back and looking at it. Look at this. All Nubian peoples of African origin should become acquainted with the books Introduction to Nature written by Afro, which is another name for what? Dr. Malachi Z. York. If you're promoting this website, and you mean to tell me you wasn't doing all this reading and looking? From whatever time you claim that you didn't believe that Afro and Dr. York was the same, didn't you not see this? You didn't question this at the time that it was coming out? These are what we have to do now. We need evidence. We got the experience now, even before this, and we have sound right reason. And sound right reason is declaring that you are a pantheist and that you've been lying about what you knew. Because everything that y'all been saying is stuff that y'all could have been saying years ago, even before we hit the scene in 2014. Even though we brought information exposing Afro and Dr. York were different based upon the research we was doing, all the way from talking to Royal, rest in peace, who had the original owner of the A&B bookstore, aka Official Connection. We already getting up enough evidence. Now we finding out who's all involved. I can't give you what you want, so you let me learn what I had to give. I gave you lodges, churches, mosques, and synagogues. This is all York. This is y'all mixing Noon with York. If you have not acquired these books, then I suggest you keep your arguments till you have acquired and digested the teachings therein. The nature books are not teachings. It's a science. It tells you to propagate and promulgate the information. You can teach it yourself, but they are not teachings. Y'all got problems. Spirit being problems. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. This is a Bible quote. Y'all are religionists. Watch this. I'm finna just show you this. Watch it come up. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Matthew 24:37. See? Y'all are religionists. That's all this is. Y'all are religionists. This is a full circle. These books introduce to the nature are the end and completion of the circle cycle of lunatic religions, speculative science and mind control, masonry known as Nuwaubu, or the world of animals and animal-type humans. We Nuwaubu beings have been sleeping and dreaming ourselves in this dimensional cycle of death, sleep, dream state. That is a lie. We are not Nuwaubu beings. We are what you would call evolutionary thought. We are the descendants of the descendants of Nuwaubu. And what do I mean by that? To be clear. Let me be clear. It's like you have a male, just say you have one set of human beings. They have children. All those children that they have will be they will be direct descendants from them. When the Pygmy gods had their first set of descendants, those will be their descendants directly. Then they will have children. So we are descendants. They are what you call an ancestral tree. Nuwaubu, the Nuwaubu are 9 Ether when 6 West came in, because they had to change with the universe. They became what? 6 Ether. So they're not Nuwaubu building anymore. They're not Nuwaubu no more. They Zupu. Y'all got all this mess in here that's not related like this in the books at all. Again, the first begotten of the dead, known as Afro Unu. Who says this? Once again, let's go to the Noon Project. Anova's book. What do you see? The first begotten. The first begotten, where he said, he indeed is Afro Unu, the first begotten of the mentally dead. That shows you that Anova was behind these writings. This is all Anova. Has begun for us the process of awakening to the reality of our existence as Nuwaubu with the assistance of the spirit deities of nature. That's not true, because the main gods turned against us, and the moon set tells you that those gods abandon us and don't look to them. We supposed to look for Nuwaubu. This is all lies. This is Anova way back then. Hotep. Therefore, rather than get bogged down further in religion, masonry, etc., by being confused trying to see through the symbolism, we should just see through the illusion of this manifest level of creation, known that all of the opposition to our uprisings by spiritual extension of ourselves existing in this dimension of the so-called time and its cycle state. Again, the books are introduction to nature can be ordered by contacting us at, again, so Anova. And how long, if Tarnova, Nuntar, and Renu, I don't know, rest in power, I don't know if they were there with him at that point. But at this point, it showed that Anova was also helping spread information and knowledge and funneling those people toward Sinai and them. I'm not going to even give Anova the benefit of the doubt that he didn't know that them books was being sold without Afro-Um's permission. Because we already see that all these lies that everybody that started from that conversation with Nusa and Kepra, now everybody got something to say. And you still ain't telling the whole complete truth. So guess what? We're going to take what we got and we're going to run with it. All right, nature teaches. Now look at this. This is going to explain right here about Anunnata. Anunnata was not no Nuwaubu, and this is finna tell you. Advanced Nuwaubic teachings for non-by-nature beings by what? Anunnata Nupu for the Nun Project. So now, that Nupu should be there, and he's saying for the Nun Project. So that means that Anova was over Anunnata, and Anunnata was teaching Nuwaubic under Anova for the Nun Project. So all this crap about Anunnata was a Nuwaubu, stop lying, because we finna tell you that's a damn lie. This is his website. Now it's not even about the confusion, because nobody knew on the main line until we went and got the information. So we not saying that. I'm saying based upon all the information we've gathered thus far, Anunnata was a Nuwaubian. Rest in power. Facts. Because even Sinai, as Galaxy Wisdom online, when I first encountered her, she was still saying Rahul Bad and Dr. York and all that stuff, and she didn't really want to get into the beefing and all of that stuff, and she felt that Dr. York information was important as well. So that means all y'all are pedophile supporters. That's what it is, because nobody came out all the way to where we went with it saying that they don't support pedophilia. Noon definitely doesn't support that. Alright, so look at this. The scientific operations of the nature of nature. Netu Shir Netu. That is not in the nature books. Although this is the Sesh Meta Neta form of saying that. But again, other than that, York was not using Netu Shir Neta in the nature of nature. Alright? He wasn't using it like that. He was calling it, because it's basically saying the God of gods, or the God of gods. In our acquisition of knowledge was an overstanding, right? We are dealing with liberation science so as to free us from ignorance, from the hypnotic rhythm that keeps African beings enslaved by forces that are adverse and opposed to their liberation. Again, y'all was not aware of your own spirit that had you running around doing this. I was a victim of this for a minute, and this is why once I snapped out of it, I got all the way on my job and treated this information, this misinformation that y'all been spitting out as hostile, because it's hurting and destroying and keeping Ethiopian people in bondage. Almighty absolute nature, which is without bounds and limitations, is all that exists and consists of space, all matter, and all time. That which is within nature is known as the nature of nature. Once again, the one supreme being is finite and infinite, because the smack circular order has a limited duration of 72 million years, and in lesser cycles than that. So that is not true. The laws of Almighty nature operate in cycles of seed that consist of opposites in constant motion. Life and death, male and female, all that stuff like that. Cool. By the laws of absolute nature, then all space and matter and all time has the periods of strength and weaknesses, fullness, emptiness, growth, and decline, etc. This right here is not true. Space is perfect at all times. Matter and time changes. Space stays the same. This is what we mean, that this is what Anunnata was teaching, rest in peace. And this stuff is not correct. If we were to allocate the highest point in the half circle of nature, the number 9, and name it noontime of absolute nature, or as the longest day of the year, then you could observe that forces of absolute nature are at their most potent in positivity, and that at the chemicals and gases known as ether are at their full strength of creativity. This is the time when higher reason rules creation, known as 9 ether 4. That's a lie. Nuwaubu rules at 9 north, the opposite of 3 south. What is ruling in its peak of negativity is Zupu. This is incomplete. This is incorrect. 3 by nature. If you allocate the lowest part of the circle of absolute nature, number 3, then this will symbolize a time when all the forces of absolute nature are in a state of absolute rest or scientific death. That's a lie. The only time the one supreme being is resting is when the chaos circle is in play and everything is being grinded down to dust, and the one supreme being rests for about 5 billion some years to gather energies. What is he talking about? This is a time when there are no creative ethers or gases, and it's something like the darkest day of the year. That's a lie. We at 3 south right now. We moving around. What is he talking about? Ain't nothing resting. In the cycle of absolute nature, we are now at the state which is rock bottom, or the winter of nature. At this time, the force of death, the most prominent, meaning spiritual death, and religion rules through ghosts or God. Melanin beings known as African are earth beings, but black people are the only ones with melanin. African people with the most sun genes are therefore by nature closer to the top 9 position of the circle. That's a lie. How are we closest to the 9th position if it's a distance away in time? If you calculate 18 million years plus 18, 9 north is almost 36 million years away. Minus 90 years. There's like 35 million years and some change. This is foolishness. This is incorrect. And so is existing in a state of ignorance or spiritual death. This is what we mean by spiritual ignorance, because York didn't teach this. You won't find this written in York's books. This is a Nuwaubu spirit, rest in peace, was making him freestyle this stuff under Anova's direction. Now to understand how this situation comes about, we must study the whole circle of absolute nature within which is contained all person, places, things known as the nature of nature. That's not true. It's called a SMAT circle, and it has in it all person, places, and things. You can't study the whole SMAT circle because we haven't got to the point of where the pygmy gods are at, as far as where do they go after they chemical structure, things of that nature. Because Afrunu said in nature book 6,000 years ago, you could still see the body of a pygmy ancestor of the pygmy gods. So that means if it was there 6,000 years ago, most likely mankind got these bodies and they're keeping it hidden. But I understand what he's trying to say. So what we're dealing with is just some of his teachings. I'm not going to go all the way through that. But definitely it revealed that Anova and them was involved with this crap. Alright. What we stand for. Number 9. We got Afro-Uno name up here again. Then what? The Nun Project. We back to that. As a student of the teaching of a great man, we of the Nun Project are dedicated to spreading his teaching in the form of 9 mind science. We know that they talking about York. So York did not teach 9 science the way it's projected and produced in the nature books. He mixed this stuff up. Alright? The teachings of the Nun Project are designed to raise so-called black people to a level of development where they can achieve their full potential. And as a student of this knowledge, I've created this website with attention to 90 people in the spirit of cooperation, creative endeavor. Again, all they were doing was mixing Afro-Uno information with York, and they didn't know the difference. But the worst part of it, that they were selling not only Afro-Uno books, but other artists' books. This is what we got out of this. All right, we at number 10, Moonset and Sunrise introduction. They read from the next section of the Moonset Sunrise, Introduction to the nature, the foreword. They talk about Nuwaubu, all these things. And then right at the bottom, what did it say? For online discussion and class on this subject matter, please access this link. MalachiYorkIsInnocent.com, chat with the gods. This is the website, what it used to be. Malachi is innocent, right? Here's the chat with the gods. I think they site's still up. I think this is one of the oldest websites that Nuwaubians have. It look like some stuff is still here. Exploding the DNA, chat with your God, all that stuff. This is one of the old joints. Next to All Eyes on Egypt is gone now. But those who've been around know about this website. Alright, we're gonna go back. And then look right here. Audio tape, transcript, plus audio tape. Right, so they selling that. Moonset, Sunrise and Nature. Also, you search for knowledge and read me as available. As they set together with Introduction to the Nature, Book 1 and 2 plus transcript or the audio tape by contacting us at amun999@aim.com. The earliest known writings by the master teacher Amanubi Rakapatah entitled Give Round the Nine Ball and 4 counts plus Bible interpretation 1 and 2 are classic must for serious students of absolute nature and the Nuwaubu is original purity. So once again, all this, see right here, look at the bottom. Look at this at the bottom. A special 9-mind creation by Anova Nuwaubu. Delegate Noob Tarkin had no idea that this unorthodox gap assignment would put him on the threshold of his own quantum reality. Mentors like his mother star and father son, his beloved grandpa son and Prince Ambassador Yaruk, taught him to be prepared for numerous situations except one Computus One, an enigmatic planetoid that has petitioned for membership in the Galactic Association of Planets. Y'all hear this craziness this dude did? This is part of his book. He reveals to the reader of his memoir that there was a vast age of ignorance or forgetfulness that lasted thousands of cycles of years and played humanoids once. His mentors were witness to his final stages, who taught him extensively about it, all bearing witness to the initial genetic explosion and awakening. These personal yet impersonal revelation on dark matter, that's the name of the book, and species of masterpiece isn't at all, it's an Afrocentric futuristic story. So once again, there you go right there. Anova Nuwaubu definitely was involved, right? And if you go to the Nun projects, right, they tell you right here, Rakapatah, a brief introduction to 9, Ethiopian and 9 is your own will and have self. The title of the first section of count 1, it is the growth of the 9-mind creative space that presents more expansive introduction to Noon, which indeed means 9, to help guide us all inward to the jet black center called Nuwaubu, Tarnun, and the philosophy, science Noon, like modern Shabaka stone, defaced by religions we are qualified to bring all back to the original creator grower called Tarnun Nuwaubu, sound right reason. If you go down here, it's what? GetFromBehindThe9Ball.com. And this is the website that Charles was giving Anova credit for, what he had the 9-ball and then all that stuff and that. And again, all this shows and proves that Anova was also a part of the shenanigans of taking the books from Afro Unu and giving credit to York. But up and above that, they were selling the 9-ball and the BIAE, but they had on the site, they took donations. They didn't ask for money directly, but still, all of these people were together. So, Poseidon, you got a whole lot of snitching to do. Not no explaining, because anything you say after this point, as far as we are concerned, is suspect, because all of this proves that y'all knew more than what y'all were letting on. And it's a shame, but not surprising, because of the spiritual aspect of this, that y'all did this to Alpha Uno. All of y'all. Y'all spirits use y'all so hardcore that it's ridiculous. Alright, let's see if his book is still up. Yep, there you go. Anova Ray Nuwaubu. It's still on Lulu right now. Copyright 2007. Alright, so nobody is lying. Now Siren Reason is exposing y'all. Y'all spirits is filthy. And nobody is not gonna come in and apologize. Y'all not gonna do no videos correcting the crap, because now it had to fall on us to do so. So Anova ain't gonna never come out. Anova ain't gonna never come out and admit the foolishness he played, because y'all spirits gonna keep y'all from doing it. But if y'all had any sense, y'all would expose the spirit as hard and quickly as you could, taking Turpin Sofa as needed, or even much more, to get to that point. All y'all are trapped. So if y'all respond, and if it's anything other than saying that, yo, I got played, Siren Reason used Tarkindle and Quipu to expose the facts to get this stuff out here, then that'll be good. Other than that, I don't want to hear it. And if any of y'all had any love for Alpha Uno, which I seriously doubt, this is disheartening, and y'all should slap yourselves, because all of y'all out here got Sound Right Reason, Noon, and Alpha Uno looking crazy. Y'all got thousands of views under this video about incorrect information about a man who was robbing Alpha Uno, died of cancer. His wife continued selling the books to A&B bookstore call, and I'm pretty sure Alpha Uno was behind that. And now the books stopped being made because the spirit beings was successful enough to get the physical copies stopped being made. And the nature books say that every African household should have the nature books, physical copies. So that was the first thing that they were successful to get done, or second or third after they got York to assume his old identity and start distorting. All of y'all have the same spirits doing the same thing. I was under that same spell and I snapped out of it. And so y'all should be doing the same thing if y'all really broke away, because you become angry at what happened and you realize that it's been a detriment, that it was a disservice, that what has been done. This right here, I can't say it's no excuse for it. It's a reason, the spirit being. But y'all been watching us fight all this time and y'all said nothing. This just shows me that Anova is extremely filthy, and he need his ass whooped. He need his ass whooped because of this crap he been doing. He been doing this since 2004, because he had the BIAE and the Noun Council on the website then. So he was already being the leader in the deception. And then the Nunatar came along somewhere along those lines, created a website, and then they started doing the same thing and promoting his book in the midst of it. So I don't want to hear nobody crying, because it's time to stand on your own. If you ain't finna make no video stating the crime you committed, because it is a crime according to Noon. Y'all committed crimes against Sound Right Reason, Noon, Afro, Gipu, Sipu, respectively, in favor of a pedophile who's doing the same thing. And if y'all can't see the spiritual ramifications and the allegiance that y'all spirits were working in tandem with one another, I don't know what else to tell you. Just stay away from me, I'll tell you that. Because all of y'all are spiritually compromised. Too many causes peace in wartime.